All right, we are live. Hi everyone, how are you? Let me just get comments up here. Okay, let's see. All right, we're connected. Okay, so I have a few quick announcements and then we will dive into the riveting topic of marketing automations. First off, this live Q&A is recorded. It will live here on this YouTube channel. It will also live in the Molo9 repository. So this means that if you are not a rapid growth company, you do want to keep your questions high level. Do not dive too much into the details of what you are actually working on. Hi everybody, your comments are now coming through. Okay, that should actually lead me to my next point. We are using YouTube at a lagged rate because we have some people that are part of the Molo9 community who are hearing impaired. That means that as I'm recording it, it takes about between 8 and 10 seconds to take what I'm saying and put captions on and then give it to you guys. So if I respond 8 to 10 seconds after you write a comment, it's because that's how much time it takes for you to see what I've said and respond. So it does sometimes lead to a little bit of weirdness when I ask a question and then respond 10 seconds later. But anyways, all right. So if you want to deep dive into the details of your company to ask specific questions so I can offer you more custom tailored advice, we do have one-on-one and small group coaching sessions, both available now through Molo9. I'll drop the link in here so you can book those. They're available bi-weekly through the rest of June. Okay, along these same lines, today I'll probably share some examples that I've witnessed throughout my career. I can only either share the details of the company or I can share, I can only either share the name of the company or the details of the project. I cannot do both as this would be a breach of contract with MD9 clients. And lastly, for those of you who don't know me, I'm going to do a quick intro so you know the types of questions I'm best equipped to answer. There have been legal questions before. I appreciate your faith in me, but I do not have my JD. I am not a lawyer, nor am I qualified to give you legal advice. So along this line, if you have questions that I'm not equipped to answer, you can drop them into our Facebook group. There are a lot of brilliant startup founders in there. We also have agency owners in there. So if you have marketing questions that you're not sure of and you can't get a hold of chat support because it's the middle of the night in our time zone, you can hop on to the Facebook group and usually speak with an agency owner there. All right. So for those of you who do not know me, I'm going to silence my phone because it's blowing up. All right. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Soozin. I have spent more than a decade doing something called growth hacking. And growth hackers are a bit different from traditional marketers in that we look at the whole funnel, not just lead generation or website conversions. Along these same lines, I do play with roughly 100, actually more than 100 different customer acquisition channels, and I'm not too committed to any one channel. So you'll notice a lot of the Molo9 recommendations do not tell you, oh, you have to be on Instagram right now. They tell you when you're writing something for your next post, you should use these psychological triggers because regardless of channel, humans are motivated by certain psychological triggers. And so that's why we focus a lot on those because those can translate across a lot of different channels. Whereas tricks for manipulating algorithms, ranking algorithms like search engine algorithms and social media ranking algorithms, those are very unique to specific channels. So we try not to push that as much because that is something that has a steep learning curve and it also only applies to one channel. So it's very useful for only a very small group of Molo9 community. Anyways, my favorite type of growth hacking is something that's called blitz scaling, which means that we grow companies really fast. This is crucial in very competitive industries and markets. As of now, the fastest I've grown a company is from idea on paper to more than 108 million in sales in less than 5 years. This specific company was in a very competitive market that had not seen a new entrant in decades. So that just gives you an idea of how and why we grow companies quickly. As of now, I own 5 companies and brands that are all geared towards helping startup founders. I think the one that's most key to note after Molo9 is 9apple, which focuses on like mental health and keeping your inner drive and motivation going, because I know that's something that can dip when you're getting harsh feedback or competitors are trying to steal your intellectual property and things like that. That being said, 9apple is really just to help you with like keeping your inner drive. If there are quite a few issues with suicide in the startup space. If you are having issues with suicide, do not go to 9apple. Do seek professional help. Do talk to a professional about that. There are a lot of suicide lines throughout the world in different countries. I would call one of those first. 9apple is more for, oh my gosh, I'm kind of lacking that drive that I used to have, and my head's not in the game as much as it used to be. Then you would go to 9apple. All right, so on to today's topic. First off, I know we have some people in the crowd that are very tech savvy, and we have some people in the audience that are considered tech savvy, being able to set an alarm clock on their phone. So we're going to just first discuss what automations are, and then how you see them in everyday life, how you can use them in your business, like getting your feet wet, and then we're going to dive into what my favorite automations are. And then after that, I'm going to show you the new, more hands-on project management tool we made for Molo9, so you can walk step by step through the different processes that we have in place. We only have one process currently in this new build out, because I want to know what you guys think of it before I spend like 50 hours adding the rest in. Okay, so here we go. What is an automation? The dictionary defines automation as the technique of making an apparatus, a process, or a system operate automatically. An example of this, some of you are going to know exactly what I'm talking about. Some of you are going to laugh because you'll realize how old I am. But when I was a kid, before smartphones, we had these giant books. They were like, I don't know, about this big. They like the size of my torso. And they had charts in there. And whenever my mom would get lost while driving, she would pull the car over. She'd have to go to the trunk because she had several of these charts. And she would have to pull one of these giant books out, place it on the hood of the car, and figure out through these like cryptic grids exactly where we were on the map and how to get to where we're going. So enter smartphones and the GPS. If you use a GPS automates the process of finding your current location and directing you to a specific destination. That's, I think, the most common, easy to understand automation. It automates the process of getting you from point A to point B. Your dishwasher automates the process of cleaning your dishes. If you have one of those fancy coffee machines, like, what's his name, George Clooney with Nespresso, that automates the process of making you a kick-ass espresso or latte. So when you hear the word automation, do not think big, scary tech. Think this could make my life so much easier if I select the right automations. Just like picking the right washing machine or the right car can simplify your life or give you a headache of high maintenance like nightmares, you want to be selective with the tools that you use. If a tool is not working for you, it's not you, it's that the tool was probably built for people in a different niche. That's fine, move on, pick a different tool. Do not try to kill yourself over using an email marketing tool that everyone else uses, because there are 15 others out there. Okay, so if you have never used an automation in your business before, you want to start with something like IFTTT. I'm going to drop the link in right now. This is a very, very simple way to get your feet wet, started with automations and seeing just what little scripts can do to help simplify your life. Okay. So this one example of an automation that's available via IFTTT is sending you an email if it's going to rain. So IFTTT is like very baby steps, like kindergarten level of automations. Once you've gotten your feet wet and you're more comfortable, then I would look at trying to set up a chatbot with something like BotStar. I'm gonna drop the link in. The reason I like BotStar is that they have, where is it? They have a lot of templates. So if you're totally new to automations and chatbots, you can literally pull one of these templates, and I think they have like 40 something templates for almost every type of business. So it makes it very easy for you to get started, whether you're a restaurant, a hotel, a musician, a venue for concerts. They have pretty much every template you could imagine. Chatbots are great because not only do they help guide your users to where they want to go, they also improve your search engine rankings because they improve something called session time and they improve something else called bounce rate. If you do not know what those terms mean, do not worry about it. We're not diving into that right now. I have an SEO notebook right here, and that walks you through what these terms mean. Check it out later. Do not fret if you don't know what those terms are. Another automation that you could use, you might already be using it, is Calendly, or its alternative, which is Book Like a Boss, or my favorite is 10 to 8. I think 10 to 8 is kind of like the Mercedes-Benz of appointment scheduling software, although it's so obscenely affordable. Where is it? It's not loading for me. Oh, okay, yeah. They now have a free account if you're a very small business and starts at like $9 a month. They're very, very good if you are selling not only your time, but if you're selling group sessions, they're a great solution to use. Okay, so after you set up a chatbot and your booking portal, you should have a stronger understanding of what automations can do for you and be equipped with enough knowledge to know how and where you want to start automating things. What I look for is mundane tasks that I hate doing. If you are super tech savvy, you're probably already laughing and thinking about how you build your own custom automations in Python. For the rest of us, we're going to dive into some tools that do this for us. So the first one is Segment. It is like the behemoth of customer, of marketing data. Jay wants to know if I have love for HubSpot. I do not, Jay. And the reason I have no love for HubSpot is because I cannot tell you how many times I've been hired to build out a new system to get people off of HubSpot because it's very cheap to get started, but it gets very expensive very fast. The bigger companies grow. And actually the same is true of Segment. So Segment has very nice pricing if you're a young startup. But once you get more than, I think it's like 100,000 monthly views, they get very expensive very fast. Where is it? Yeah, once you exceed 100,000 monthly visitors, it becomes $120 a month, but then you have to pay like overages after the 10,000 mark, sorry. 10,000 monthly visitors. So I put HubSpot and Segment. They're both great. They get very expensive very fast, which is why I do not put them at the top of my favorites. Segment I put towards the top because for tech savvy people, it's really great capturing data in the early stages of your startup. When you build your software, it's intuitive to you, but it's not intuitive to everyone else. I've worked on projects where I literally just came in and swapped out the UX and UI for other people. I know you guys all hate the Molo9 UX and UI. I've done this for other startups, and we quadrupled sales in as little as 2 weeks just by making changes to their software that were more intuitive for the users. In those cases, we use data tracking software like Segment or Hotjar, which I'm going to talk about in a second. The other reason I like Segment is because when you are a young startup, you have your team rapidly growing, and you'll have marketing people that you hire in who are familiar with certain tools. So it means that they can work really fast with those tools. And with Segment, the way that it collects all of the data and then feeds it to your third-party tools, it allows the historical data to stay in there. So you're switching. The problem with switching from one email marketing platform to another is there's no problem. It's literally a click of a button, and you can change the analytics platform that you're using for your screenshots. You can change your email marketing. You can change your chat support. Segment allows you to be tool agnostic, which is great when you suddenly go from having one marketing person to having 20 marketing people. The downside is the cost. If you are not VC backed, if you are bootstrapping, their costs can climb pretty high pretty fast. The other downside is that Segment does require a solid amount of technical expertise. So if you're not totally tech savvy, but you want solid customer data, my next favorite tool, more so than HubSpot, is Sharpspring. I'll drop the link in now. We have an agreement with Sharpspring where I think we get like $100 off a month. If that's of interest to you, click the blue help button on Molo9, and it will, and then you can talk to someone from the support team about us getting you set up with that. But let me just tell you about Sharpspring first. Okay, so what I love about Sharpspring is that it offers you a comparable suite of tools to Segment, but it includes the cost of all of them. So with Segment, they take all of your data into one space, but then you still have to buy your chat support software, your landing pages software, your social and listening engagement software, your CRM, your video calling software, your multi-touch attribution, and your email marketing automation platform. With Sharpspring, it's all rolled into one. That does mean that it's $399 per month to start out, but that cost is actually significantly less than buying all of those tools that I just mentioned. So I'll drop those in. So with Sharpspring, if you're looking at using chatbots, testing landing pages, using social listening, want something to help with your social engagement, you want a sales CRM, you want video calling, you want multi-touch attribution, and you want email marketing, like sending someone an abandoned cart email like 3 days later, Sharpspring has all of that in one. And for $399, that's a song compared to what you pay for getting those separately. But if you're a very young startup and it's just you right now, and you're like, I do not have time to even manage all of those tools, let alone like use them, then even Sharpspring will be a little bit too robust for you. Also, if you're on a tight budget, then we're going to move on to the next one. There are two very popular automations or software solutions that are used by very early stage startups. And Hotjar, I actually use every client I can use, every company I can use it with, I do. And here's why. Okay, so I don't know if you read the case study of Dropbox. When they first launched, they paid a bunch of random homeless people $40 to come in and test their software. And then they sat there and watched these people try to click the buttons. I think that's a waste of money, because Hotjar, and now there are software solutions that offer this, where they will record a screen, like someone's screen, while they go through your website, not even a customer, like a person who's hired to test your software. And they'll charge you up to like $100 per person tested. Now, if you go to Hotjar, you can get the same data for just $39 per month. And instead of one recording or one test from one person scrolling through your website, you get 100 full user session recordings every single day. This is amazing for debugging, because you might think that by having chat support and a feedback button on your site, you're going to get the feedback from people. Studies actually show that 26 people will struggle with a feature and a bug before one person reports it. And through our use of Hotjar, I've actually found quite a few people struggling with bugs that I didn't know existed, because we're literally building out features as fast as we can right now. And I've been using Hotjar to identify bugs that I was not aware of and fix them before more than like 2 people have a problem with it. Hotjar is it's particularly useful for those who have not only an online product or software, but also those who have a lot of web traffic coming in and not converting. Because basically, it is GDPR compliant. What it does is it gives randomized numbers and tells you the country that the person is coming in from, and that's pretty much all the data you have about the user. But then you can see like where they click, where they scroll. When they click a button, does it bring them to the right page? Does it bring them to the wrong page? When they click, does it lead them to a 404 error? It allows you to do things like that. It also allows you to see, I was just looking at a recording for a client that I'm working with. It allowed us to see what country we have people in that are trying to steal his intellectual property. And we can document that, save it for later, and hand it over to our IP attorneys to make sure that his intellectual property is protected. And if somebody does come out with a copycat, we have recordings showing when they started like trying to rip all of his intellectual property. So if you have the type of product where like somebody runs a bot to try to scrape all the information off of your site, Hotjar also can capture that, which is really nice. Okay, next you have Mailchimp. So just like Hotjar can cover the basics for getting you like the user feedback, seeing where you have bugs, seeing where things are working, seeing where they're failing. Hotjar also, it puts an X over all numbers and all field forms so that you cannot see, if somebody's filling out a form, you cannot see what they put in. And it unfortunately hashtags out your prices, but it assumes that any numbers on your site are sensitive data, and so it hashes that out as well. So it's great because you can watch people going through the checkout process, but it hashes it all out so you can't see any of their sensitive data if they're performing a checkout onto Mailchimp. So just like Hotjar can cover the basics for a lot of the data that you need for small early stage startups, Mailchimp is great bare bones alternative to Sharpspring if you have a tiny team, tiny budget, and not a whole lot of free time to invest in email marketing. Mailchimp is also a great place to start as their best. Here we go. Sorry, I lost track. As their best automations are unlocked for less than $15. I do want to show you if you're like, oh my God, I hate email marketing. How am I ever going to do well with this? There's a gent that I follow, a gentleman in the software space, and he grew his email list from 100,000. Where is it? He grew his email list from 100,000 to I think more than like 4 million subscribers. Oh, here it is. And now on GitHub, a place where tech nerds hang out. Why is it not letting me? Okay. Now on GitHub, there we go. There's a repository. Jay, I would definitely recommend checking out their demo. It's also nice to use with your clients. The way that they allow you to log in with and see what your clients are working on at the same time, it's great for hand-holding clients. They have great white labeling options. Okay, so the link I just dropped in, this gent has an email that every week he sends 5 links for different computer programming courses and like write-ups that you should check out. And it's his email list has grown from, 100,000 to 4 million users just with this very plain text email, no images, no video, nothing crazy. So if you're thinking, I don't need to know about email marketing, automations, email marketing is not for me, you may want to check out Quincy Larson's email. This is the email archive, the link I just sent you. So now you can see all of the emails that he's sent every week for since what I think for like the past 3 or 4 years. Okay, next. Okay, this one is really cool. I love using this one. We get a lot of like a really high ROI out of this. If you did not see my guide on remarketing with paid ads after an email campaign, here's the link to check that out. But in short, after you send an email to your email list, you can leverage an underlying psychological principle of influence called the mere exposure effect. Let me send you the link to that as well. Here we go, the mere exposure effect. And then, so you can leverage something called the mere exposure effect by modifying, oh, yeah, no worries, Nikolai. By modifying that email to be an ad and retargeting your email list using Facebook ads, Google Display Network, and native ads, among a few others. Just like every company, they're always developing new solutions. Okay, so AdRoll is one of the tools that allows you to do this easily. They automate the process for you, and you can read more on how that works over here. Okay, 3 more, and then we will dive into questions. If you have any questions about Molo9's new feature, we will cover that next. So, copy generator. I built, we've talked a lot about email, but we have not covered how, like an automation that can help you create that epic sales email. And while Molo9's new content brainstorming room is a personal favorite, I created this week for some of you guys are loving this. Some of you guys find it absolutely useless. I think that's the nature of the beast with most of these features moving forward because they're becoming more like niche. This is literally the copy and content framework that I have for putting together content dropped into a section in Molo9. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I mean, mere exposure effect, I think, is one of the most powerful psychological triggers. Okay, so if you are totally new to the world of marketing, you might want a DIY that can ask a few questions and write your email for you or write your sales copy for you. And that is where the copy generator comes in. Let's see. Not letting me open that one. Hold on. There we go. Okay. This is great because you literally just drop in a few answers and then it spits out how your copy should look. It's not exactly foolproof yet, so once it spits out the recommendation, you do need to usually like polish it over a little bit to make it flow smoothly. But a lot of people are enjoying like the benefits that they're getting from that. So I do have to throw out the disclaimer that I am affiliated with them. So Jay said, any recommendations for client portals? Yeah, I will drop, let me get through these 2 points and then I'll drop those in. Nikolai, I'm glad that you find the content framework on Molo9 useful. There will be a few more like that I'm going to create afterwards, hopefully within the next few weeks. All right, so I am affiliated with the copy generator, which leads me to my next automation recommendation, but affiliate tracking. Okay, so I have tested a lot of these, and here's what I can tell you. They are not one size fits all as much as they claim they are. The more expensive ones usually do a lot more heavy vetting with who they allow to be promoters, affiliate publishers for their community of affiliates. So if you see like CJ.com, that's one of my favorites. They're $400 a month. There's another one, it's called Impact. I think that one's like $1,500 a month last time I checked. Those match you with like usually much more high caliber publishers. But then if you want to get started like as cheaply as possible, you can build your own. I know a lot of you are using WordPress. There's one that's it's either $49 a year or $49 flat fee. I'm going to drop the name in here. It's called the WP Affiliate Program. It's hideous in its user interface, but the reason that we use it is it has a low annual fee, or it's either a flat fee or an annual fee, I can't remember. And it offers one-click automatic payouts, but it doesn't automatically pay out for me. I can go through a few days before the next payout is supposed to go, and I can look and make sure that every payout attributed to somebody is a complete transaction. You do see instances where sometimes people who are a little bit unethical with their affiliate links will buy a bunch of things and then return them to see if you still give them credit for those sales made. And that can very quickly sink your revenue for obvious reasons. So I use the WP affiliate program. CJ.com is my next favorite. The downside of CJ is that it is $400 a month if they do not make that much from you in commissions. So if you have like tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars being made month over month through their affiliates and affiliate links, they scrape off, I think, like 1% off the top, and they pocket that. If the amount that they scrape off does not give them at least $400 for your account, then they charge you $400 for that month of using CJ.com. That's the downside of CJ.com. So regardless of what you choose, there's one last one that I should talk about, and it's Tapfiliate. I'll drop the name here. I used them last year. The downside I found with them is that they were $70 a month. And they were $70 a month. I had to do a lot myself. They were not, they were claiming that they were like total automation. They were not. And people who are tech savvy enough to know how to build something themselves found it Tapfiliate too expensive. People who were not tech savvy enough to use Tapfiliate usually don't have the type of system that they claim to integrate with. And like it was just a nightmare to try to integrate it with the WordPress site that I was using last year. So I would, if you're using WordPress, I would not recommend them. If you're using Shopify, there are a lot of affiliate tracking tools created specifically for Shopify that you can check out. If you're using a custom build, chances are that you have your own developer, in which case he can build you something. The reason that you would pay to be a part of an affiliate platform like CJ.com or Impact is because you're getting access to their network. It's not because you just need the affiliate tracking system. Okay, so there are two more automations. They are gray hat. So we are not going to publish gray hat hacks on YouTube or Facebook because that gets me in trouble. Instead, I'm going to drop the links in right here. I'm not kidding. I have had accounts closed. I'm going to drop the links in right here, and you can check those out later on your own. It's dropping in weird, so let me do that here. There we go. Okay. You can see what those two are later and how to use them. They both use simple software solutions that can help you to get a fast ROI. So now it is time to transition to questions. We're going to start with Jay's question. But in the meantime, if you could just smash the thumbs up button because it really does help with the YouTube algorithm. And then we will start with any questions you might have. If you have questions about the new feature I just built, I will open it up on my screen and show you how we can walk through it. A few other things we recently added to Molo9. We have the beta tester application. So if you want to test, if you want to be one of the people that's testing the new features that we're building out, there are quite a few of them, just fill out that application. And then we have a freebie section. So I know Jay mentioned that he wanted to offer a freebie to the Molo9 community. If you have something that you want to offer for free to the Molo9 community, you can just let me know and we'll list it here. Please keep it ethical and legal. And then we will go into the projects section. So there are actually two new features that I built out this week. One is, one was meant for people who are a little bit more advanced with their marketing, and one is for people who are beginner with their marketing. So I was trying to build two features that helped two different groups at the same time. So we have this one, which people who are a little bit more comfortable in the marketing space are loving. And then we have this one, which is basically me hand-holding you through different processes that I use. So the first one that we have up there is how to launch a startup like I do. The next one I hope to have up there either today or early next week is my web design project template. So it's just very quickly like a checklist of how I complete a web design project from idea phase all the way through to getting them. Usually the tactics that I list usually get people on to be the #1 search engine result for their company name. And so that's the next project that's going up. And then after that, we're probably going to do the SEO project. So let me go through Jay's question and then we can circle back to this, right? Yeah, my next meeting's in 40 minutes. Okay, so Jay asked, any recommendations for client portals, looking for something simple and scalable for B2B, open to B2C recommendations too. Okay, so my question is, by client portal, do you mean like a project dashboard where you're sharing different files and things like that? Or do you mean client portal where they can book their next call with you? Because those are different. Client portal where you can share projects with them, that's basically what we just built here on Molo9. This is so that you can track, you can take the projects and the processes I have, you can edit them for your clients, and then you can share the link with your clients so they can see where you are in the project. There are also sections where you can say that it's a private phase, so only you can see it, and you can see what you'll be working on, but your client will not see what you'll be working on to complete that phase of the project. Okay, so Nikolai asked, can we have several companies at the same time? Yes, so that's basically what this is doing. It's allowing you to have multiple projects that you're working on at the same time. You have it saved so that you can, from your private dashboard, you see how many active projects you have going on. You also see any deadlines you have posted to your calendar. But then you can take the processes that I use, you can copy that as a template, and then you can edit that process however you want before you show it to your client. So initially, with Molo9, what we had, the option was basically you would come in and you would look at my recommendations, and that was it. Now we have a full-on project management section where you can create and scope the project with your customers. You personally, as the Molo9 subscriber, you get access to the Molo9 recommendations to see what they should do next. They do not. They only see the project page that you show them. So they don't know where you're getting your like genius juice or your inspiration from. They just know that you, as the professional marketing consultant, are advising that the next 4 steps should be XYZ. Here, let me show you guys. Okay. All right, so this is what it looks like right now. If you have any feedback on the UX and UI, you can just let me know. Okay, let's see. Okay, there we go. So here I'm going to click add a new project. And where is my template? Hold on 1 second. Oh wait, here we go. Is this it? No, I've already encountered a bug. This is what happens when we launched last night. Okay. Give me a second to figure this out. Leave. Confident enough. Thank you, Nikolai. Let me see. Why is this not letting me create? No. Okay. We had a system upgrade yesterday and it broke everything. I'm not happy to find that this is also one of the things that broke. Give me 1 second and I'll get this. There we go. It's loading. Okay, cool. If you experience a bug, please click the blue help button, the smiley face one. I'll show it to you right now. This blue one right here, the smiley face, if you click on it, you can give feedback and let us know where I'm having problems. Da, da, da. And then you can leave your email and we can contact you once it's resolved, or you can just notify us of the bug and it'll send the feedback to us, telling us exactly what page you're on so we know where we should be looking for the bug. Okay, so now that this is fixed on the back end, hopefully, there we go. This is what I wanted. Okay, so right now we have, when you click new project, click use a template, and the only one we have up right now is launch a startup like Soozin. I want to know what you guys think of this, if this is broken down enough, if it could be broken down more, because I don't want to build out another one following the same logic and assumptions I did with this one and find out that both of them are useless. Okay, so I click select and watch this magic. Whoa, everything's filled in for me. Okay, so you have text here if you're tech savvy and want to make this fancy. You have visual. You also can change it to your client's logo or your business logo. You can change it to your client's name. You can set priority. And you can also pick project type. Okay, then you can pick a start date and an end date. If you do that, then it will show you. Oh, it's going to be slow for me right now because I'm streaming live as I'm showing you this. Okay. You can pick a start and end date, and then it will add this to your calendar. There we go. You can change the description, all of that. And you go here, if you want to add client documents, you can do that. And then you click here. If you don't want clients to see what you're doing, you can opt for it to restrict access to specific users. So I know that some of you bought accounts for your clients to temporarily use. Others of you bought accounts for people on your marketing team to use. You can pick here who your assigned users, which users can access your project if you want people to collaborate with you on it. I added this person in here. I can add another one, or I can just hit next. I selected for automatic progress and phases and everything to be measured by percentage. Some of you, I know you bill hourly to your clients, so you have that option here as well. And then you have milestones, which these are the default milestones for this template. You can change them yourself. You can also add more milestones. You can decide how much of the project this, like what the weight is of this on the project. And then you have phases and tasks. This is probably where you're going to do the most editing after documents. In your phases and tasks, see this tiny arrow up here? You click to open and close that. Here's where you can list every single task. And this is why I was laughing when people were upset about losing access to the library. This is going to give you so much more of a walkthrough than the books in the library, my notebooks, do. It literally, and actually for some of the notebooks, they're replicated right in here in the template because they walk you through how to implement that exact task. Okay, and then you can also add subtasks. You can change this however you want. Click Save. And now you have your project. You can choose to share this with your client. You can choose to just keep this amongst you and your team. You can choose however you want to use this. Mark complete when you finish something, and then look at how it changes there. Complete, complete. Yep, you can also add tasks, but that's it. That's Molo9's latest software update for you guys. Do you have any other questions for me around this or something else? I believe we have one more live Q&A that will be happening at this time, Friday afternoon. After that, we will switch them to being on every other Thursday morning, and we will pick a time later in the afternoon time on a different day, just so that people can who have different schedules are able to tune in to one or the other. Although with that, we probably will only record one or the other, not both. So any other questions for me before we jump off and go conquer the weekend? CNAME available for Molo9 software. No, I'm sorry. It is not. I also have not been cool enough to figure out a way for you guys to change the colors. We are looking to do a very complex rebuild this year so that white labeling and things like that will be easier for you. But for right now, this is what we have. Yeah. So we did, what we have right now is we're focusing on the, we have the AppSumo launch going on. We also have press coverage going on. So we're having to split our time between product development and customer support and marketing. And hopefully what I have for planned for summer vacation is just product development. So you guys should be pleasantly surprised when you click back on like August, September and see all the cool new features we have. For right now, the only cool features I have are the framework section, which I want to build out into like a brainstorming, your virtual brainstorming room with Molo9, where you have the Molo9 recommendations right next to the form that you fill in, so that you can have like all of your information in one place. Because for me personally, I found it annoying when I'm like having the content framework on one place and then I have to keep switching back and forth. That was the goal with that. And then with the project management, I was hoping that this would take you a little bit further with being able to collaborate with not only your team, but also with your clients. Thank you for understanding, Jay. I appreciate it. And then, oh, I do have one of my friends is an exec for a startup, and he does not do marketing. He hires people who do marketing for him. He hires marketing employees, and he said, I love Molo9, but I want a certification process. I want to know that my employees have read through your books. So we set up a Molo9, Nikolai, yes, I will answer your question in 1 second. So we set up a certification process for after you read through the Molo9, the first book, there's an assessment at the end of each section. If you are interested in earning that certificate, we are going to retail the course plus certificate at $130. This is not the same as the library access. This is something completely different. This is if you want to get a certification that you took this test, you completed it, and you passed, you sufficiently can go and implement what you learned in that book. Let me know, because we do need a few people to beta test what I built. This week has been insane with everything we've been building, but yes, we need beta testers. If you want to test it, I will give you free lifetime access to that course and certificate. So just reach out either via Telegram, or you can fill in the beta tester, where is it? You can fill in the beta tester application. I believe I sent it to you guys earlier. I'll drop it in here again. Okay, thanks, Renee. All right, so Nikolai had a question. QA after testing it out. Yes, please do. If you have any questions after testing it out, as you're testing it out, you can always click that little smiley button to report a bug. You can also contact customer support. You can give your feedback also. Where is it? You can give your feedback over here. This is very, very helpful. We read all of this feedback and respond accordingly. Okay. There we go. So if there are no other questions, yes, thank you guys. Have a great weekend, Nikolai, Jay, Renee, everyone tuning in. I will see you guys next week. Take care.